Hi there, kindergartners! Welcome back to Math with Miss Hulsart. Today we are starting a new unit. So we did a lot of work with building numbers like 5 and 6, but today we're going to start to switch gears a little bit and start something new. So first I'm going to do a little bit of teaching, and then I'll show you what we're working on today. About what it means for things to be the same or different. Those are words you've heard before, but they're not necessarily just math words. We use them a lot. Think about, what does it mean for things to be the same, or what does it mean for things to be different? Look at this picture of two bikes. What is one thing you notice that is the same about these two bikes? Take a look. Do you see more than one thing that's the same? How do you know it's the same? Alright, now let's think about it. Do you see anything that's different? What does it mean for it to be different? Two bikes. Well, they give us some ideas. They say some ways they are the same is that both bikes are green. We can see they're mostly green. They might have some other colors, but they're mostly green. Both bikes have two wheels. 1, 2, 1, 2. Both bikes have the same pedals where you put your feet to make the bike go. Now, what do we know about ways that the bike is different? Things that make the bike different. What do you notice? What looks one way on one bike and not the same on the other bike? I see one thing that's different. I see the seats on the two bikes are different. Cindy's bike has a long seat. Hugo's bike has a short seat. There are other ways that they're different too. Can you find at least one other way? Nice job, kindergartners. All right, let's keep looking. Now, this tells us to compare two buttons. Pick any two buttons. How are they the same? How are they different? Let's pick 1 and 2. Now, are they the same color? No. Are they the same shape? No. Do you see what's the same about these two buttons? If you said they both have two holes, you are correct. Nice job. Now, what about this button and this button? What do you notice that's the same about these two buttons? They're both circles. What do you notice that's different about these two buttons? They have different colors, pink and purple, and they have a different number of holes. Very nice job, kindergartners. Now it gives us one more. It says, put two dogs in the yard. Compare the dogs. Those dogs are both black. These dogs are both sitting. And these dogs both have a yellow color. So friends, when we think about things that are the same, we want to know what about them makes them look alike. They both have the same color collar. It makes them alike. When we want to know how things are different, we think about what about them is not alike. One dog is standing and one dog is sitting. That makes them different. One dog is brown, one dog is black. That makes them different. Today I want you to keep that in mind. Same and different as we think about what your work is going to be for today. Our work today is going to be using attribute blocks. And attribute blocks are something that we haven't seen in a little while. We used them a lot at the beginning of the year, but we haven't really seen them in a little bit. So we're going to start by thinking about how can we describe these blocks? How are they the same? or different. These blocks have different attributes. So they put these two blocks together because it says these blocks are blue. They are not the same size or the same shape, but they are the same color. These blocks are red. These blocks are big and yellow. They found two attributes that are the same about these two blocks. These two blocks are big and they're both yellow. These blocks have the same shape. Circle, circle. These blocks are all small. We've done a lot of this work already, friends. Early in the year, we talked about describing shapes, so we've already done a lot of this work. But we're going to review it as we get started in our next unit. Your job is to do the same thing we just did. Find shapes that are the same in some way. That might be a little tricky because there might be a lot of ways that these shapes are the same, but there also might be a lot of ways that these shapes are different. So, I'm going to do one set of shapes. I'm going to put this shape and this shape together. I'm going to say those two shapes are the same because they're both small. They're the same size. I could put this shape and this shape together. What do you notice that is the same about these shapes? Do you notice anything that's different? Your job today is going to be to use these shapes, just like Miss Holsart, and put them in groups that are somehow the same. Groups of two. There should only be two shapes in each of your groups. How many shapes? Yeah, two shapes in each of your groups. So you saw Miss Holsart did one. I have a small red square and a small yellow hexagon. I put them the same because they're both small. Then I want to leave some space. I have a small blue rectangle and a large blue circle. Both of these shapes are the same because they're blue. The trait or the thing that they have in common is that they're blue. You're going to do that with all of your shapes. Put them in groups of two so we can see what is the same about your shapes. What are you finding that makes them match up, makes them a good pair? Now remember, when you're all done, you want to click on the check mark down here so you can turn that work in to your teacher. If your scholar is working off of packets or might be working off of a tablet and cannot get Pearson to work, I know that the attribute block part might be a little difficult. So I did create a template you can use, you can print it out, you can draw attribute blocks if you want to. You'll see we have triangles, I have circles, squares, and the hexagons. If you have construction paper, you can make them. You don't have to make all three sizes. You could even just do the large and the medium and skip the small if you want to. If you are going to be doing it somehow on like hard copy, not doing it on Pearson, please just, once your kids have sorted their blocks, please just take a picture of that and send it or attach it to the work so that your child's teacher can see the work they've been doing. Again, this can be printed out, it can be colored in, you'll see they're just red, blue, and yellow. They can be made out of construction paper, it can be a good, arts and crafts activity for the kids to do. They have triangles, circles, squares, and hexagons. Hexagons are those six-sided shapes. You can just do the large and the medium size if you want. If you have any trouble with that, please feel free to reach out to your child's teacher and we can try and help problem solve that for you. Now, the last things you have to do. You'll have a video to watch that's going to talk about attributes of 2D shapes. things that we've already talked about, like sides and vertices, straight sides or curved sides, things like that. You're going to watch the video, and then it's going to give you some questions. See if you can solve it. Find a shape that has 4 sides. You'll find whichever shape you want, and then you're going to, I'm going to pick one that we know doesn't have 4 sides so that you don't steal my answer. And you'll put it in the box right there. Now, Miss Hulsart isn't right. You need to find your own shape that has 4 sides. Find a shape that has curved sides and straight sides. Find a shape that has 3 corners. Once you've put all 3 shapes in the boxes, press the check mark down below to turn that work into your teacher. Now, friends, the last thing you're going to do, you're going to come back and look back at this chart that we talked about together. And then you'll click through. You'll see how the students described their shapes. We already talked about that. Remember, you can click the play button to listen to how they described their attribute blocks. And then you're going to try one more time to find a big group of shapes that have 1 attribute or 2 attributes in common. Remember, you want to press the check mark and turn that work into your teacher when you're all done. Good luck, kindergartners. Have fun!